Andrew says on Rebel News, Ontario saw a record high 939 cases on October 9th. Meaning, of course, we need to shut down bars, gyms, and any other place that people go to for exercise or for fun. Because who cares about mental health, right? Now that might sound a little bit harsh if we didn't have all the information that we now have. With an added 19 people in hospital for COVID in the entire province, this is apparently a monumental spike in cases, meaning shut it down now. The cases in intensive care have barely moved and remains around 50 for the entire province. That's 50 people for almost 400 hospitals and about 230 patients for COVID altogether. That means if you put one person with COVID in each hospital, you would still have more than 150 hospitals without any COVID patients at all. Yet for some reason, Premier Doug Ford is giving more money to healthcare workers and now shutting down businesses for 28 days. You heard it right. After giving billions of dollars to increase hospital capacity and increasing wages significantly, Ontario hospitals are now laying off nurses, citing financial challenges. That's a little weird. They've stopped elective and sometimes life-saving procedures to make way for COVID patients, but there aren't enough, so now we have to give them more money to clear the backlog of people waiting for these treatments. Funny how that works, isn't it? Previously, we told you about how a COVID case doesn't actually mean you've tested positive. You can just be around a place where others have. If you're looking for a better definition from the government, well, I'm sorry to tell you there isn't one. They just say the word outbreak and case closed. Not literally, of course. But now, there are new reports coming out that in addition to cases not being cases, and adding deaths and cases from months ago, the death count for Ontario actually includes people who didn't actually die from COVID-19. But you're not allowed to know how many because that would be just too honest of them. Many people knew this already, but they were conspiracy theorists. How dare you deny the existence of this virus? Put on your mask and shut up. We showed you articles that said that. Ride your bike and drive in your car alone with a mask. People are doing this. People are dropping dead in the streets, they say. Don't you want to save lives? Toronto's Associate Medical Officer of Health says this. Individuals who have died with COVID-19, but not necessarily as a result of COVID-19, are all included in the case counts for COVID-19 deaths in Toronto. Seems logical, doesn't it? While gym, bar, and restaurant owners get destroyed over inflated numbers, hospitals and school boards rake in the money. Your money. You don't get to decide where your tax dollars are going anymore, and apparently, neither do the people you voted for. Unelected regional doctors get to suggest their colleagues get more money for less work, quite literally, while people die. For your own safety, please sign the check. Don't worry though, we are using this time wisely to make sure there is more diversity in government-run ads. That's a new thing. We've also, during a pandemic, managed to find $500 million for electric car assembly. So healthcare workers, teachers unions, and green energy sectors? Doug Ford is basically a progressive now. This person who ran on open for business and balancing the budget apparently has found billions and billions of dollars to spend while he shuts down other people's businesses. Remember, he's for the people. For what's best, for our lives, for the people. It's only going to get worse if we allow it. Look at Australia. Look at the UK. They are testing a COVID passport, meaning if you can prove you don't have COVID, which of course will turn into proving that you've gotten a vaccine, then you will have the privilege, not the right, but the privilege to live without a mandatory quarantine. Thank you, overlords. All hail the state. Maybe if we all behave, we can take part in unheard of activities like exercise or eating indoors, if we're lucky. This has become quite literally a joke, and Doug Ford has completely turned his back on not only his supporters, but anyone who took him seriously, because he no longer can be. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave us a comment with your opinions on this subject, and go to maskexemption.ca to get your mask exemption